Good evening, folks, for the October 2021 Blight Review Board meeting. It is now 5:35. I'm calling the group together and to order, please. Let's first deal with the minutes of the meeting of September 8, 2021. Can I have a motion to approve those minutes before we discuss the subject of them? Thank you. Do I have a second? David, thank you. So, any additions, corrections, errors that we noted? I did want to add one line where we went into executive session. I wanted to add the clause that to discuss potential claims, just that the record is clear that that would abide by the statutory reasons for going into.
We did that last time?
Yes. Did we go into executive session? Well, yeah.
I didn't recall that. That's actually not written. The going into executive session is not written anywhere in here.
Oh, then
I'll have to look at the tape.
What version am I referring to? Did I just see some minutes today that included that language? I don't have them in front of me at the moment.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, 5:32, we had a motion to move to executive session. Got it.
Okay. So I just wanted to add to that we did that to discuss potential claims to satisfy the statutory criterion. Okay. The next item on our agenda for today would be going into executive session to discuss pending claim. At the moment, however, I don't see folks about whom we would have a discussion.
Did you need a vote on the minutes?
Oh, sorry. Good point. All right, we had a motion, we had a second, we had an edit. Could I please have a vote in favor? Please say aye.
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 I'll abstain since I wasn't here.
Okay, but there are 3 ayes and 1 abstention, so they are approved. Thank you. Keep me honest, that's a good idea. All right, so
Easy job.
I suggest we postpone any potential executive session, see if anybody arrives to have that session with.
Sure.
Therefore, we can also, we should go into, well, I guess we need to deal with 18002, even though no one has appeared at this point. So can we get Mr. Solito to review the conditions at 18002. This is our hearing to determine whether or not there is in fact a blight condition there of which the homeowner has been notified by the blight prevention officer and who was notified of this hearing now and invited to attend. So let's do that.
Okay.
What are the conditions now?
The conditions haven't changed. It is currently bank owned or trust owned. The property.
So let me do this for clarification. It's owned by a trust and managed by a bank?
No, it's owned by, according to the tax records and everything I found, it's owned by U.S. Trust.
Right, that's fine.
U.S. Trust, U.S. National Bank Trust. That's
Okay.
according to the tax record. In looking them up, they have a clearly stated CEO whom I've sent notices to and gotten responses from. There has been no movement on that, although there has been communication via email and lastly, a letter basically telling me that because it is currently occupied obviously by the previous owners, the owners from whom it was mortgaged from, is that they state that they don't have the power to do anything on the property without the owner's permission. And they have not been able to secure the owner's permission to do anything on the property. I'm sorry, the tenant's permission to do anything on the property.
Okay, do we know if they've begun eviction proceedings?
They said that they are an eviction proceedings, yes, exactly. I made it very clear to them that by our state, they're very clear to them that by our ordinance, that the owner is responsible and you are the owner, and you
Correct.
are responsible, and I was not, unless it was done by the board, it was not up to me to grant any kind of
Waiver or delay
leeway
or,
based on the
Yeah.
fact that,
Okay.
so,
So let's put on the record what the conditions are that,
Is that something we should agree with that, George, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is that something we should ask council about in terms of what position, how strong of a position can we take with the bank owner?
I did email Wayne and Bob Burney all of the communication. That was sent to me from the bank.
Okay.
So
No reply?
they do have, they do.
So I don't see any reason for it to slow us down. I think it may provide the owner with an incentive to make sure that eviction proceeding moves apace. If they want to come back at some point, if they were invited to be here tonight, we'll explain the situation.
Yeah, the next move would really just be the, sorry.
Giving them 30 days to
Yes. To
remedy
send
the
them an official
situation
notice violation.
before we impose the fine.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so the conditions then are what there?
The lawn has been, sporadically manicured, but the brush around the house, and there are a couple of pictures. It came out black and white, I don't know why, but,
Did we get a report today? Oh, yes, we did, okay.
yeah. You can kind of see that there's brush growing up all around the house, blocking the exits. The house in itself has quite a few holes in the siding. There's an abandoned vehicle on the property as well.
Mm-hmm.
An unregistered vehicle. It doesn't look like it's been running for a while.
Right. So those at least comprise the two light conditions
Yes.
that would satisfy the ordinance.
Mm-hmm.
To mention nothing of the antenna that's dangling off the.
Yes, that too, right?
Right. We ought to be sure that those photos get into the record, so, whatever file you have on this, that should
Yes.
include copies of those.
I will send all of the latest batch. I took, there's basically 4 of the latest batch.
Okay.
How would I do that? Shall I forward them to you?
I
or-
would copy them and simply put them in your paper folder.
Oh, in the paper folder.
Yeah.
Okay, I have them, everything, do have them digitally. It's all, every photo I've taken is in the digital file in the computer. So-
Yeah, but the litigator in me thinks of how we would use evidence and that sort of thing, and I think we need paper copies in the file itself
Will
to
do.
cover that base.
Yes.
We also should have a copy of the notice sent to the owner in the file, and you get a receipt of the green card or
Yes.
something similar.
We have all that.
You do have that,
Yes.
okay. So those items are evidence in this hearing. That's
Right.
the way that goes, okay.
Yes.
All right, so I suggest that there be a motion made to find that there is a blight condition at that property denoted by our file 18-002, and that the owner be given a notice that he has 30, or they have 30 days to remedy the blight condition, or we will begin to impose a fine. Can I
So
have a
moved.
motion?
So
Thank you.
moved.
I'm a little confused again. I'm sorry, 81
Go ahead.
years old, I get
Good,
confused.
hey, listen,
You're saying, they just
More power to you.
just got finished, I hear that the bank owns it, but they can't do anything about it because the tenant is cooperating. And we can't find, how are we finding somebody when they say they can't?
Well, we're not finding them yet, but we are going to, if we did find them, I think that this is all about incentive to the owner to move forward with their eviction or otherwise get this some cooperation.
Oh, okay, so
to
that's
clean
what
this
the
up.
purpose of the fine notices. Okay,
Yes,
all right.
exactly. So, do I have a second? Thank you. All right, further discussion on that topic? All right, in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. David?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so that's unanimous. Thank you. All right, the other file is 21-001.
Right.
So, similar situation, the owner has received notice of this hearing, at which we would consider whether or not we determine there is a blight condition.
Yeah.
So did you get the green card back or comparable?
Yes, no, the confirmation, reception's been confirmed.
Okay,
They
good.
did get the notice. Ally was kind enough to get me her telephone number. I called a couple of times, went to voicemail, and not gotten any kind of return.
Yeah, and they received, I'm looking, the receipt was confirmed over a month ago.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's being the reason why it's at this meeting now.
Yeah, I think-
There's been no, it's not a big deal. The yard is just, the house has been for sale and the yard has just not been touched. So everything is growing.
The house is for sale, you're saying?
Yes, it's vacant. The house is
Oh, it's
vacant.
vacant.
I don't remember seeing this as a for sale house.
Okay.
Um,
So
Yeah.
more specifically, so we've got overgrown vegetation. What else do we have toward the blight?
There is they're starting to have some growth in the gutters and along the side of the house. You'll see in one of the pictures on the front.
Okay,
You would notice.
According to records, the house is pending sale. We should keep that in mind
good.
to follow for a new owner.
Oh.
I just looked it up and it's showing pending sale.
I've been in touch with the realtor too, and she had not said anything to me about it.
Let me look.
I'll get in touch with her again tomorrow to make sure, but.
That's what it's showing up online. It could be
Yes.
wrong data, but that's what I see.
No, the last time I checked was a couple of months ago when I first got in touch with the realtor to
Yeah,
try to
it
track
said it
it
went on the
back.
market on the 17th of June. Doesn't say when it went pending, but
Oh.
it's showing as pending.
2021?
21.
She said it had been on for a year.
Maybe they took it off and put
It
it
could,
back on?
it could be, yes, it could be, that's what they did.
Could be what?
That they took it off and then put it back
Yeah,
on.
what I'm looking at would show the full history. Doesn't mean it's accurate,
Right.
Mhm.
but
Well, I know the
it's
sign.
not showing a previous listing. Let me just look one other source. It says it's under contract. It says it's been on the market for 278 days, which would align with the dates.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Yeah, according to this, it's been on the market for a while, on and
Okay.
off since 2019.
Mm-hmm.
It sold, it was pending sale a few months later, and then it came back on the market,
Right.
and it's pending sale now, but the dates on these are all screwed up, so I think it's worth talking to the realtor.
Mhm. Sure.
But it is showing pending sale, and it's showing under contract, whether that's accurate, I don't know.
Okay.
All right. Anything else we should know about the blight condition?
No, just that, we're at that point, as far as I had known, it's had nothing to
Vegetation
touch.
overgrown, also in the gutters, paint chipping, that sort of thing. I understand our report indicates that we think there's some disability involved. We don't know about income, I suspect.
No, it's elderly,
Elderly?
yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, it's like,
We should check that box too. These are factors that we would consider if we get to the point of finding the owner.
okay.
Which is why the owner gets an opportunity to be here to help explain these things.
I think it would be his niece, the power of attorney.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, it's on the market, but,
Well, we think there's a possibility that it's under contract.
might even be under contract, yeah.
At the moment, so, my inclination would be to have Bob contact the realtor.
Sorry, Dave, it's hard to hear you. Could you
My
just have-
inclination would be to have Bob contact the realtor to verify if it's under contract. If it's under contract, it'll close shortly, and then Bob can notify the purchaser when it becomes a matter of public record, that they need to remediate ex post haste. Does that work?
We could do that, or we could let the owner know, and that should go to the contract purchaser as well. I mean, it doesn't, we don't have to notify him, but I hate to lose another month
It would-
in case something happens with that contract, or maybe it's a long-term contract.
Yeah, that's fair, fair
I
enough.
give-
Given the
yeah.
record, given the history that I'm seeing online for that house, it seems like it could be a very long process.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would be, in my opinion, prudent to be able to send the realtor a copy of that notice of violation notice.
Yeah.
So that she has it here.
She knows it and gives her some incentive to
Yeah.
tell others.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, if the board is heard enough to convince it that there are blight conditions on the property, then can I have a motion to notify the owner of that determination and that they have 30 days to remedy the situation, or we will consider fines?
So moved.
Second? Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? All right, in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous, thank you. Okay. Then, what else do we have? Oh, so, all right, Mr. Solido, you get the floor to review any and all others.
Okay.
You might want to start on,
Sure. Yes. With that, yeah.
property of interest to a visitor here.
Mhm.
What number is that?
Sorry?
What
Oh,
number is that?
I'm not sure yet.
18005.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, okay. This was 130, this is where a lot of the trees in the front of the property have been cleared.
Okay.
Timeframe is escaping me, but it was either late, very late last year. Because of the growing summer, there's been a lot of growth in the front and low growth growing.
Yeah, okay.
And there has been kind of, as the owner's here, Mr. Sharkey's here, there hasn't been much done since the initial tree fall and clearing that has been done.
I see, all right, okay.
Um,
Do we have a picture today?
Yes, this was taken, there is one in the file there, just of the front.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Oh, yes, right.
Yeah, so you see there's that one pile, a large pile that's mulch, and then a lot of the growth that has been coming up.
Is it your view that the blight condition does continue?
Well, those are all still qualifications under the blight law.
Okay.
Not having growth above, unmanicured growth, shrubbery above 12 inches. There is still an extensive amount of ivy and growth on the second chimney. You see the one chimney in this picture in the front. Second chimney is maybe for a fireplace that is back right of this property.
Oh, yes, okay.
Mhm. And you can see in the picture as well, though we can't see the stairs, the fascia in the front is rotting.
Right.
And just to the left of the front door.
Okay,
and that's what you see.
so we think that the owner is here, and
Yeah.
I'd certainly be interested to know if there's some way we can help move the process along. Sir, would you like to address us tonight?
No, I just want to know what else I have to do. I removed all the trees out front. After the fall, after the leaves come down, I'm going to get rid of all the woody growth out front.
Okay.
So it'll just be, the growth that comes up in the springtime. It's never been a lawn. It's always just grown wild.
For the record, we should get your name, please.
Dan Sharkey.
Dan Sharkey. Okay, and you're the owner of 130 West Avenue? Durham?
True.
Okay. And does anyone reside in that building?
Yeah, I do.
You reside there every day,
No,
overnight, or no? Oh, so you own it, but
I own it. That's my residence.
does anybody sleep there overnight?
Sometimes,
So it has electric service?
yes.
Okay. How often do you sleep there overnight?
I don't keep track of that.
Okay, all right. Well, we're concerned about it not being a safe place to be. We're concerned about how emergency services would reach you in the event that something happened to you or anybody else. whether fire, police, EMTs, so we worry about that. That's part of why we want to get it cleaned up, so. All right,
So you want me to make a pathway to the front door?
yes, yes,
All right, I'll do that.
and a way for vehicles to get in there, you know, so an ambulance can get up close, I guess. But, is there anything that the town can do to help you? We have been known to provide dumpsters so that you can cut things and throw them into the dumpster and
You
take it away.
did that already.
We did
Oh,
that.
we did that, okay.
Yes.
Okay, is there anything
And
else?
I filled it up.
Okay,
But then I got a tree service to remove all those trees. It must have been a dozen trees.
okay. All right, well, you've heard Mr. Solito say that there are still blight conditions on that property. And as I say, it's a safety concern if you do spend time in that building. So we need you to move it along. I mean, before the winter comes, I would suggest. I hear you say when the leaves come down, you'll be doing more tree work.
Well, I'll reduce all the woody plants out front. I don't want woody plants to come up, but plants that come up in the springtime, you know, I'll just cut them back the next fall.
Okay, so you'll be cutting them this fall.
Yes, the woody plants,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Anything else anybody wants to raise here and now? Okay,
Without, not being able to go on the property, the front stairs and the look in disrepair. They do. I don't know, because I haven't been able to get
Yeah.
it close, but if they do need attention, I would, ask you to do something to shore up the.
The stairs into the house?
Yes.
Front stairs? Okay,
Yeah.
they're okay, but.
Are they, okay, I can only tell from a distance, they don't look great, but if they're
They're
usable and they're.
Concrete.
Oh, okay.
oh, they're concrete, because again, if we've got a police officer climbing those stairs, or EMTs, or anybody else, we worry about that too, okay?
Mhm.
But you say they're concrete,
The stairs into the front
Okay.
house, yeah.
all right. Okay, well, I don't think we had in mind to take any other action tonight, Mr. Sharkey, so, as long as you know of our concerns, and, you know, we're glad to hear that you have some plans to continue to improve it this fall. I think it's important that you do that. Yes, Mr. Slater, please.
Yeah, there is just from a file standpoint, in talking with Bobby Burney, this is part of our, like, straightening up the whole idea. This property has not been issued a formal citation.
Okay,
It was given the violation notice after the last hearing, but it had stopped short of, actually having a citation being issued from the attorney's office, that's the only one that's been cut short. I just wanted to let you
good.
be aware of that.
I think we did that because we did meet with Mr. Sharkey, and he
Mhm.
did make some improvements.
Yes.
We want to be cooperative as opposed to an impediment to that continuing to happen.
Yes.
I think is, but if anybody has a different view at this point.
No, our role is not to be punitive, our role is to be
Right.
cooperative.
To improve
Yes.
things. We're
Yeah.
not trying
And to help
make things more.
encourage improvement.
Good, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I appreciate your keeping us straight as to where we stand.
Does Mr. Sharkey need another one of the dumpsters for?
Apparently not, no, not yet, or not now, so.
But you can continue to email me as we've been, you can continue to email me if you need anything or you're requesting some information, please do so.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
All right. All right, well, thanks, Mr. Sharkey, we appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Salino, what else have we got?
Okay, starting with, we'd spoken earlier, 16-001. It's been, they have been keeping it maintained. The grass is being mowed regularly. The last time, and it is being maintained, there's a lot of stuff being cleaned out of the backyard. There was concern at last meeting about the pool issue. Now, I went back today and took a good look around the pool, and it is securely fenced to stop anyone from, you know, any trespassers from wandering in. There is no gate, it is just hard fenced completely around with shrubbery. So I don't think that at this point poses a hazard for that. So looking at I mean, I can take more extensive pictures if you drive by. It does not look as bad anymore. There's been no care to the house technically,
Right.
but at least the yard is being cut and
Yeah.
maintained.
Was there a notice of demolition posted on this one at one time?
Not that one.
But we do think it was sold, right? No?
This one, I don't believe so.
Okay,
no.
then I may be completely confused, so that's fine, all right. Okay, so probably doesn't rise to the level of having a hearing and on the board.
I don't, in my opinion only, I think that as long as they maintain what they're doing until they decide what they're gonna do with the property, I think that, unless we get another complaint, but
Yeah,
I can't see us getting a complaint on that.
okay,
I'm looking at the progression chart. It says that a
Yeah.
citation was issued.
Yes,
yeah.
All right, so
So the citation
They-
notified them of
Yes.
a hearing
yes.
in May.
They are, and this is they are technically still accruing fines.
Oh, fines were imposed, okay.
Yes, they
Okay.
were. And that was the young lady taking care of the property was the person that I had emailed and spoke to about coming to the meeting to request. At the last meeting, you said that if they want to be relieved of fines, it was best that they attend the meeting
Yeah,
and come in here and explain themselves.
okay.
I will continue to send that message to her, but however you.
Well, we
however-
probably ought to.
well, let me just
Yeah.
ask. I mean, what I had is that the property is being maintained, the grass is being mown, and the pool is secured. So I'm wondering if this is a situation where it's improved enough that we would stop accruing the fines.
Yeah, because, well, that's interesting. If you take a look at the blight ordinance, the only blight there technically is the condition of the back of the house at this point. Now, that being only one blight issue, it could fall off.
It's
the-
one blight issue and it's not street facing.
Correct.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is from the back. So it's not an
Doesn't count.
amendment.
And it's not,
It
it
is the
doesn't sound like
second
it's,
floor.
it doesn't sound like it's a safety issue either.
Correct, yeah, it's the second floor, so not to worry about entry, illegal entry from whomever. I don't know that I would technically, if you want to put it on the, drop it down to a watch status so that it's watched for a period of months to make sure that it doesn't continue to deteriorate.
Mm.
And this again, only my opinion, but,
Well,
so far,
okay.
over the last few months, they have been maintaining, yes.
All right, so, have we been imposing any record, $100 a day, or?
There was a date, I believe, that the, citation, this was also the one, oh wait, I'm sorry, I got the wrong one, forgive me.
Yeah, the citation appears to have been issued November 12, 2020, and was returned to the town attorney in May of '21. Commended.
Yes, I'm sorry. So it was signed by myself and given back to the attorneys. I had talked to Bobby about, or I emailed Bobby and asked him from whether or not it was served, and he was looking through the file and he did not could not find any paperwork pertaining to the service by a marshal.
Okay.
So if it's not been served, it can't be accruing fines,
Right.
right?
Right.
Well, I thought that technically, and forgive me though, that we could, or you could start accruing fines after 30 days from the violation hearing notice.
Yeah,
And
but
that
we
the
need
site-
to be sure that they got notice of that violation hearing.
Well, I do have a receipt confirmed for the violation hearing notice.
Then what were you just saying that they could not find?
That was just the service of the citation.
Oh, after the hearing, we would serve a citation, right?
Yeah, well, after the hearing and the violation goes and received, they have 30 days to correct.
Right.
If not, after 30 days without correction, it would go immediately into fines, and the citation would be just to inform the owners that
Fines
you are
accruing.
currently accruing fines, and they would give them an
Alright.
amount. This is what the past citations
But I
said.
think our process is that we don't set the fines until the 30 days have passed.
From the violation.
We have another little bit of a problem here. The notice of the hearing was 12/9/20, and it
Was-
says that the citation was issued 11/12/20. So mathematically, that doesn't work.
Backwards.
Well-
Mathematically, that doesn't work how the process is supposed to be.
That was when the board directed the town attorney to issue the citation. They didn't get around to issuing the citation given to me until May. It was one that they just either, it fell through the cracks, and I have no idea why.
I do remember some discussion about some things falling through the cracks a few
Yeah.
months ago.
Yeah, there was concern about that. But we also got a memo from council telling us exactly where everything stood, and I don't know if I have that handy.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, that's okay.
I
Like to be clear about all that.
I continue to be confused. My impression was that the citation would be issued after the hearing. And in this case, the citation was requested prior to the hearing. So I'm just not quite sure.
Wait a minute, which one we're talking, what's the number we're talking about?
17011.
Okay. At the board's meeting, this is in a memo from council.
Sorry,
1601. I thought,
So-
yeah.
The hearing notice was sent to them. Actually, you directed me to send the violation and hearing notice on 12/9/20.
Right.
I see.
Yes,
Appeal
so
violation.
on January 27 of '21, notice of the determination of violation was sent by a certified mail to the homeowner,
Yes.
informing them they had 30 days to abate or daily fines would commence on or around March 15. The BPO, Mr. Solito, was contacted by the owner's daughter, who met with the BPO on location. BPO discussed a plan of remediation, however, no further action had been taken. As such, daily fines had been accruing.
Where are you reading this from?
This is a memo from council
Okay.
of April, I think, yeah, April 12. I can circulate that to everybody. So fines, meaning 30 days from the date of the original notice of determination. By April 14, these fines will total $4,700. The office was also in contact with M&T Bank, which holds the mortgage. They wanted to be kept informed, that was it. So apparently, council was satisfied that appropriate notices were given. We determined to issue fines, and they must continue to accrue. So I do suspect we ought to stop the fines if we're satisfied with the condition, but I would think we ought to put a lien on the property to protect the fines that were properly and timely imposed.
I would agree with that.
Okay. All right then.
It's good that there's been progress, but it's been 4 years.
Yeah, took a lot of Mr. Solito's time, council's time. Expenses have been incurred, so I think we should protect ourselves to that extent. So if I can have a motion to the effect that the fines on file 16001 will cease as of the date of this meeting, but that council will be asked to prepare and file the appropriate lien to protect the amount of fines that have already been accrued. May I have such motion? Thank you. Second? Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's unanimous, thank you. Okay. Thanks. Next,
Okay, 7-011,
17,001,
that's the next one in line here. And there's a couple of photos, there hasn't been any action. These photos were taken yesterday, and you can still see piles of stuff in the front yard.
Yeah, this is tough.
Oh, yes.
So what's been our last action, Bob?
They are, I believe the citation's been issued. Commencement of fine accrual 12/27/21.
Say it again, Bob?
The commencement of fine accrual was 12/27/21.
So we've been accruing fines for 10 months, 8 months?
Yes. He was sent a citation, on 5/24/21. So from the commencement of fines
So what is the next step in our process then?
What was that, I'm sorry, what was that, the citation date and commencement of fines?
Sure. The determination of blight was issued on January 28th of '21, and it was received by the owner on 2/4/2021.
This is 17-001? I mean,
17011.
011.
So I'm looking at this, which I really like, Bob, as I mentioned. It
Mhm.
might be good to have in here a column that shows when we started assessing fines.
So put a fine accrual column in?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, we do that.
So, yeah, I think then the next step is, tell me if I'm wrong, next step would be to determine whether we want to file a lien.
At this point, yes.
But that would be, I'm just asking generally, forget this particular case for a moment. That would be our next step.
Yes.
Right.
And had we set any kind of standard amongst us to
No.
date, George, about from the time we started assessing liens, or excuse me, fines, how long did we go before we decided to assess to it?
Yeah, no, we have not.
We
I
should
just
probably
think
have
when
some
they
kind
got
of-
substantial, but.
We should probably have some kind of standard on it, just so that we have a precedent, and no one could say that we've treated one person differently
Yeah.
than another.
Yeah,
You know, if we ever get in a legal situation, the more we have documented and
exactly.
consistent,
And we're treating everyone the same,
and I would think,
given.
we don't need a vote, I'm not suggesting a motion or a vote, but does it make sense that we say after 6 months? Is that reasonable? Is that too long?
I think that's reasonable.
Mhm.
I mean, 6 months is a fairly long time.
Yeah,
I mean, we're well past on this one, which is
right.
fine, we get action
Yeah,
now, but
6 months, you're at roughly $18,000 worth of fines.
Right.
I think we either set it for a dollar amount, at which point we assess a lien, or a length of time, either one, but and we don't need to have a formal rule on it, but I would think we ought to have a practice amongst us that we, unless there's an exception, that we follow.
Right. Yeah, I think the record should reflect, Mr. Secretary, that we are of a mind at this point in time, that we think that after 6 months, if there's been no resolution of the blight condition and fines are accruing, then it is timely to record the lien on the land records, unless there are extenuating circumstances brought to our attention.
So the standard is 6 months?
That's what, Michael, where we are, do you have a?
Just a suggestion, I
Yeah.
just thought I'd toss something out.
I like that idea. I think that, having a standard practice makes sense to me. And just so that it doesn't become overly burdensome, I would suggest that we extend the practice to be that the liens are updated every 6 months. Because that way we don't.
That's right, that's a great point.
Because we
Great
don't,
clarification.
right, because if you lean it at 6 months and then you wait a year and a half, and the house goes to sale, your recovery will be the 6 months.
Yep, no, I think that's great, that's a great clarification.
Yeah, good. very good.
You follow that?
Yes.
Yeah, so basically, we're just updating the lien amount to reflect
Every 6
the
months.
accrued fines, so that if the house ultimately goes to sale, we have a recorded lien for a recent amount as
Right.
opposed to an old amount.
I think that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's timely for that.
I will reflect that in the minutes.
Okay, thank you. And this council did tell us that as of April 14/21, the fines would total $4,700, so they were accruing at that time.
So do we need a motion to assess the fines on this one, since it's been, what, 8 months or what just determined?
So the fines are accruing.
The fines are already accruing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
So-
I misspoke.
So there will be,
I
for the
misspoke.
lien.
That's what I
Yeah,
meant.
would the lien for this particular price of property
Yeah.
be for 6 months or for 8 months?
We will do it to the amount where it is today,
Yeah.
but since it's
Or
going
it is
past.
today, to what it is
Yeah.
today?
Yeah, you set the lien for the amount that it is
Right.
today, and then going forward. we
Every
will-
6 months.
Every 6 months, we'll update it. In the future, for any additional properties, the rule will be at 6 months, we will
Right.
do
That's
that.
it.
Right, record the lien.
All right, so I'll make the motion to have the attorneys record the lien,
Right.
reflecting the current accrued value.
For file 17-011.
I will second Mr. Martin's motion.
Seconded. Any further discussion? Good, then you say aye if in favor.
Aye.
Opposed, that's unanimous, thank you.
Ally, does all this make sense to you?
Yeah.
Reasonable?
Absolutely.
Yeah, listen, please.
No,
we
but also,
need-
I mean, by the time they get to the point that they're being fined, it's been a long time anyway. So
Yes, that's right.
it's
Yeah.
not like this
It's-
fast-moving
exactly.
process, so.
We don't typically do it in the first
Yeah.
year.
And even 6 months is kind of long. The fact that our fines aren't so great that 6 months, I think, is fine.
Right.
But you could make an argument it should be less, but I think
I
6
think
months.
that sounds reasonable, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Again, we want to.
Give them a
our
chance
goal
to
is be
make some
reasonable
progress if
here.
they want
Our goal
to,
isn't to
yeah.
be punitive, but
No.
at some point we have to draw a line.
but we'd also like some responsiveness from the folks who are
Yeah.
subject to these proceedings so that we know what's going on. If they ignore us,
Okay.
nothing we can do. Okay, Mr. Salido.
Can I just ask a question going back to
Yeah,
that?
please.
So will they be notified of the current lien amount, like when it's updated every
Yes,
6 months?
yeah.
When the lien is filed, they get
It
notified.
has to be
Okay.
served on them as well.
Oh.
Okay, 17-013.
This is a new one, is that what I saw?
It's
It's an old one.
an old one,
Oh,
but.
it's- yeah, 17,
Resurfaced.
17, it can't be a new one, okay.
Yeah,
Don't-
exactly.
Don't question.
This one's been-
Don't put that in the minutes.
This has been going back and forth, if you know that the house, it's the one that's right next to the property, the Heights Road development that's not underway yet between Norotan Avenue and.
Used to be
Oh, yeah,
next to
okay.
Glen
Hollow
Liquors.
Tree Ridge
Glen Liquors was
Road.
right there. That
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, right next to Clan Liquors.
Yes.
I had a neighbor ask me to bring that up.
Yes,
Right next to
Now-
what?
Glen Liquors,
Oh,
remember
yeah,
the,
yeah,
It-
yeah.
It's behind,
Behind it.
to the left, if
Yeah.
you're looking at it.
yeah.
if you're going
I know
up
which one
Hollow
it is.
Tree Ridge Road
Yes.
and you pass the construction area, it's on the right.
Yeah, I got it.
It's on the right, yeah, okay.
Now, they only cut the front, it's not even a lawn, cut the front vegetation when addressed by the blight officer.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it gets to be 2-3 foot high. I could issue them, and I was always, please take care of it, and then they would take care of it, it would kind of like fall off of the blight register. However, the condition of the house is not getting any better now.
That's
I
scary.
did give a picture, there was a picture here of the front of the house. The roof is,
What's the deal with the truck?
I don't know who that truck belongs to.
It doesn't.
But it does
The
move.
truck-
It
No,
does
no,
move?
It does move.
That
The
truck
truck-
moves.
the truck
It always
is
seems to be there when I go to
registered.
drive
The
kids
truck
to
is
school.
registered and the blight rule is.
It is not
unregistered.
registered yet?
It is,
It
there's a
is.
license plate on
Okay.
it.
Yes.
There's
Having a
a,
license plate doesn't mean it's registered.
No, but that truck does move.
Well, no,
It's
you don't
almost
move.
as if
Really?
maybe a neighbor parks it, I don't know.
Wow.
But the truck does move.
Okay.
But no
I've
one
seen
lives
it
there,
not
we don't
there.
think, we don't think.
I don't
Doesn't-
think so. So-
Do those stairs present kind of a hazard?
Yes, they do, and that was what, yeah, we're bringing up now is aside from that, they did, I mean, I sent them a warning notice, they came in and they cut the vegetation, but now we're starting to look at the gutter hanging off, the front stairs handrails are apart. You could tell that the front porch is drooping, you know, toward the right. The vegetation on the house is still there, so even though they did cut the lawn, everything else that was in my warning notice is still there.
What do we know about the ownership situation of this one? I apologize if I don't recall it.
It is
An
the,
estate?
Unknown.
it is, and the executrix of the estate lives in Norwalk. So we do have an,
It's
address.
still in an estate?
Not in probate,
Yes.
but I think it's like, if you look on the assessor's page.
Yeah, the estate was in.
I'm looking
Yeah,
it up.
even better,
I
The
think-
tax record is
supposed
showing,
to,
it's showing that it's owned by the estate.
And the
You say,
executrix is
That's
charged with
Well, you-
preserving the property.
NAGY.
Yeah, and then there is an executrix.
Executrix is someone named Olga
Fischel,
Fischel
yeah.
in Norwalk, in
Correct.
what appears to be East Norwalk.
Yes, yeah.
Smart to
England's-
sell right next to that development.
Sure, that's true.
I have spoken with the developers about this property, or a representative for the developers. They
Oh, yeah.
attempted to buy this property
Ah.
several times.
Okay, what was that again, I'm
I
sorry?
was gonna ask that.
Yeah, why not?
The developers of the Northern Heights Shopping
Yeah.
Center project attempted to buy this property and were turned down because they wanted to, you know, change the egress onto West Avenue.
Yeah.
Sorry, Hollow Tree Ridge,
Right.
excuse me.
Not that it's for us to comment on, but just mind-boggling that someone has something in this condition
Right.
and isn't willing to sell
Good,
it.
yeah, no.
Um,
All right, so
Not for
according
us
to
to
your
opine,
process.
I realize.
No, according to the process, I should say, you have now forwarded that issue to us. And it seems to me we could now instruct that a notice of possible blight condition be sent to the owner.
Right, with a hearing date.
With a hearing date.
Yeah.
If we do that, may I recommend that we should have a specific list of items that we would want to see remedied in order to not have an official finding of blight. So if we could be specific as to what items, because you said the yard gets brush hogged periodically when you request.
Yes.
I think, I haven't paid that close of attention. It doesn't look particularly awful at the moment.
No, currently, like I said, they cut it last
So-
week.
Just the structure that looks bad right now.
Yeah.
So we should be able to tell them which elements of the structure need to be remedied
Okay.
to avoid.
When I do and if you'd like, I can forward you a copy of the violation hearing notice, and in the violation notice, I could spell out exactly what would need to be
If you
corrected.
would, because if I were to be the receiver of the notice, right, I'd like to know what is it exactly that I have to do so that you don't find an official finding.
Yeah.
So if we'd like a quick refresher, and we don't want to prolong this, but a property may be determined to be a blighted premises if any of the following apply: attracting illegal activity, a fire hazard as documented by the fire marshal, is or becoming dilapidated or unsafe.
That's.
That's-
That one
Yeah.
constitutes a threat to the general health, safety, and welfare as determined by the Director of Health. I suspect it's an attractive nuisance to kids or whatever else. And if it contains two or more of the following conditions in the public view: missing, broken, or boarded up windows or doors, collapsing walls or roof, seriously damaged, missing or loose siding, gutters, leaders, etc., significant fire or water damage, persistent and excessive amounts of garbage, trash, etc. Seems you've got two of those as well.
Yeah.
And so we should move forward.
Okay.
Now, the date of the next would probably be less than 30, our next hearing will be less than 30 days from now. So I guess we need to set it for the December
The
meeting.
December meeting? Got it.
Um,
When is the December meeting?
Well, I was afraid you might ask me that question.
Huh?
Hang on, give me 1 second.
You know, I have to get a color printer, I can't.
Just wait until, oh, it's hard to see in the black and white,
Yeah,
yeah, just wait to get it here.
Because I'm sitting there trying to figure out what colors I can just put on a marker.
That would be March 14th, March, right, December 14th.
December 14th?
December Tuesday? You mean December
I'm
15th?
sorry, it's Wednesday, right?
Well, it wouldn't be the 15th, then it would be the 9th. 15th is.
Second day, you're
The
exactly right.
second
Very
Wednesday
good.
would be.
Wait a minute,
No,
Wednesday the 8th.
Second Wednesday's the 8th.
Wednesday the 8th.
Ah,
Jeez, I'm
There we
looking right
go.
at the calendar here.
I almost had it.
So what's the name of it again?
December
On
8th.
Wednesday,
December 8th.
I'll be here.
Well, that's for this,
All right,
this
that's fair.
particular case, but that's,
Yeah.
we have a meeting in November too.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, but the notice should be for December 8th.
So plenty of time to put it together and get it to you
Yeah,
to
we do.
review.
Do we need to hold an official vote on that?
We do. So, the motion is that the blight prevention officer be directed to send a notice of potential blight condition along with a notice of the hearing on determination of that blight condition for December 8th, 2021. Anything else needed in that?
Nope.
Okay. With specificity as to the blight conditions allowed.
Not for anything, but do we really have to wait 30 days before we send them a hearing notice?
No, but we want them to now have 30 days to remedy it before they come for the.
Yeah, you can send the notice,
Yeah.
right after it gets approved by the vote. We just can't have the hearing closer than 30 days.
Well, it's,
Aren't you going to, doesn't the notice include a statement that you now have 30 days to remedy the situation?
yeah, the violation note, yeah. My thought was, I don't think you have to wait 30 days to send them a violation notice for
No,
the hearing
we're
date.
not saying you have to wait to send the
Right.
notice.
Right.
Oh,
You're sending the notice.
Send it immediately, so they all.
no, yeah, I get that, but my thought was, why wait until, why do we have to have the hearing in December? Why can't we do it in November?
Oh, because the November date is less than 30 days away.
But,
Don't they get 30 days
They
to
get 30
remedy
days
the
to remedy,
condition?
don't they?
yeah, but not until after they receive the violation.
Oh, all right.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
it's
a
already
little-
October 20th.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I apologize, so it'll stay for December, yeah.
That letter you're going to send will include a 30-day remedy
Yes.
provision.
Yeah, so
December.
technically till January 7th would be
Okay.
their date where, at that point, they could possibly begin finding.
Really fun, yes.
Right.
If we determine on December 8th that there is a
Yes.
blight condition, then they get the citation.
Got it.
If they don't remedy in 30 days, then we impose fines
So
if we so determine.
so who's making the motion?
Okay, there we go. Good.
Why not?
Why not? Good for you. And a second will come from
Sure, why not?
Mr. Kiss. Good. And any further discussion? Then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous, thank you. All right, so why don't you give us your most other pressing one or two?
18002 was, we already spoke about that.
Okay.
That's the one that we already agreed to, we're gonna send them the violation notice.
Yep, good.
18005, we've already addressed.
Good, yep.
Okay. 21-001.
18004?
1800, did I do this one? Sorry. That was 1800.
I'm just using your bar chart here.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
005 is what we talked about already.
Yeah, did I put 8004 on that? I'm sorry, I didn't have much time, sometimes I rush through.
South.
Nothing's changed.
18.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we have, I was only, for instance, here you go, that's one. 18004, nothing's changed on that, so I didn't submit anything
Okay.
within the package for that.
We're assessing fines on that one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
And we have assessed the lien, we filed a lien?
I think a
Yes,
while ago.
I think the second one, I think.
So we
is-
should then, to David's earlier suggestion, make sure that we're updating it every 6 months?
Yes. Yeah, I am not
Do we
sure.
need to take an
when the
action on
last-
that, or will that automatically happen now?
I don't know if anything happens on that.
Okay.
We need a
So
little-
I'll
we're gonna
I'll
have
make
to
a
take some
motion,
initiative, yeah.
I'll make a motion that per our earlier discussion about updating liens every 6 months, that we review 18004 and
If fines have been accruing for more than 6 months, then we instruct council
Thank you for that.
to record a lien.
No.
All
Okay.
right.
So 18005, we had already spoken with. the
we need to vote on that.
Yeah,
motion,
we
I
did.
think.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry, apologize.
Sorry, did I get a second? Peter, yeah. Any further discussion? Are we driving you crazy with this language?
Yeah,
We'll work with it.
I am a little frustrated with the lack of consistency in the data package.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed.
I can only say that there are a lot of holes that were in there that were in the files
Yeah.
before I started.
I know, but what I'm saying is 18004 is not in this package that was distributed.
No, because there was no, that one, there's been no
No change.
Right, but.
change, yeah.
And in fairness, Mr. Sawyer didn't know we had this new interest in the 6 month.
No, that's fine, but what I'm saying is, going forward, the board should get
Okay.
the record of every single property that is either blighted or watched
Got
every time.
Whether there's been changes or not.
Whether there's been changes or not.
Very good. I'll
And I
make
think
sure
that, Bob,
that
this
goes
is a
through.
good tool, because I think this is just my perspective. I think this, for things that we have to really action, with
Yes.
this level of information is great, but just as a checklist to go through,
Yes.
like I just asked, why I asked the question about
Mhm.
18004, and I think then, again, if we have a column about when the fines were assessed, and then we have a column about, when the first lien was filed, and maybe we have a column for each subsequent lien. So each week, we can track to see, oh, we need to take action to update the lien on number XYZ.
Each month, yeah.
I mean, I think this is a good tool, let's take advantage of it, and it's a good beginning. Let's
Yeah.
add that to it, it's kind of a
Yes.
dashboard, and then we can have this as our backup when we need to go deep.
Yes.
And,
You
Okay.
guys agree, does that make sense?
yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. Riley, you are an attorney, and I thought I heard you say nothing happens automatically.
Right.
But if we're establishing that as our practice, can we simply advise the attorneys so that they will
Yeah, that's a
sub-
good notion.
substantively do it?
They've got a tick our
automatically?
file, I'm sure, that would
Yeah,
remind.
we should probably, for the next several meetings and months, just validate that it's happening, so I think I'd still like to see it on this dashboard.
Yeah,
But to David's point, I think that makes sense to try to make some of these things be automatic. Once we decide to assess a lien, it should therefore be automatic that every 6 months, unless we take another action. Basically you said earlier, George, based on extenuating circumstances
Yeah,
or what have you,
exactly.
which may exist, but let's let the default be every 6 months it gets resubmitted, refiled, unless during one of our meetings we review that there's been something material.
Good. Okay.
okay, very good.
So do you wanna-
I'll make sure next time you'll have the package for everything.
So, but do we need to take an action on this?
Yes.
Motion that
That motion is
I
still
made and
pending.
George amended?
All right, so the
The motion was that, upon review of the file, if the citation on 18004 has been outstanding for more than 6 months without a lien having been filed, then we don't take.
That we update the
We
lien.
don't take shorthand, I'm sorry.
Well, it's already accruing fines and it already has a lien on it, so basically what.
Oh, it does, right, yes.
So basically, the motion would be to update the lien if the last filing is 6 months ago or older.
Yes,
Correct.
good. I think we did update it once, it might be within 6 months.
Yeah, there's been to the initial and an
Yeah.
update.
So it has a lien already.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, this is the infamous one.
So the vote on it.
The original lien.
Call the vote.
Yes, okay, no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Who,
Of course not.
who seconded that?
Unanimous. Beer did, yeah.
Okay, and, since I amended the language, we'll just go with me proposing?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. If Mr. Casella doesn't mind.
Fully fine.
And this one, you don't want your fingerprints.
I've played it that way.
Sure. Okay.
What's next?
Got another highlighter too?
We're almost done. Yeah, 18004, according to this, yeah, understand, there's change, I did take up those pictures, yesterday. The owner was attempting to do work on his, actually some extensive work on his house without a permit, and was issued a stop work order by the building department.
Isn't he
Now,
running for office?
Yeah.
he's raised the house about 3 feet.
Somehow the
So,
public should be better aware of it.
the next being 18005, we spoke about already with the owner. 20-001, the house has been demolished, it's down.
Good.
So that one
Closed. We like
that
to
one's
see closed.
Yeah, very good.
21-001 we spoke about.
Yep.
And the last two on this list, 21003 and 21004, they do have blight conditions I was sent, and they're just in the warning phase. So it hasn't been 30 days since their warning to give them. So I just put it on there letting you know that they're pending in potential cases.
Can you just tell me what the blight conditions are in 21004, because she's an elderly,
Oh, is she,
Yeah.
the front yard, it's not a big
It's
yard.
overgrown, I've been there many times.
Yes.
It's just overgrown, right? It was, what's the second, I'm just curious. 'cause I'll
No, the
talk to
lawn
her.
is high and
It's all
the
the-
shrubbery's there and there's some stuff starting to creep up and grow up on the house.
So she needs
Uh,
some lawn maintenance guys to
In
come
a
out.
situation like this where she's elderly and I'm going to make the assumption is income challenge.
Not necessarily, but
Well, okay.
challenge.
Right.
But when-
Very nice.
So I know her
House.
well, so I'll reach out to her and just tell
Oh,
her.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and plus a lot
But
of
it's a new one.
the growth
No, I know, I've
is
been there many times.
coming out on and blocking the sidewalk and.
Yeah, my car almost gets scratched. but it
Well, I
doesn't.
was just gonna say, if it were a situation where there was an income issue as well, in addition to the elderly thing, I know that in, the aid that we have provided previously is to, give the owner a dumpster, but if she's elderly, she's not going to be able to do
No,
much
no,
with
no.
that.
Mm.
So if it's elderly and income,
Mhm.
has the board ever considered asking DPW to go, and do, the 1 hour mow, knock down?
I don't think they go on private property, is my understanding, but I'm not sure. But
Well,
I could speak to her and to her attorney and get things taken care of.
Well,
Okay.
this might be a
Her-
situation where, since you already have a relationship with her.
Yeah, I'll talk to her.
if
I don't want her to get a letter because she'll freak out.
No, if
So we
if
can.
you already have a relationship with her,
Mhm.
if it needs to be done and she is unable to pay,
Mhm.
then maybe she would grant us permission to help her.
Yeah, and we've done that before on occasion to help with like the lawn maintenance on one of the other.
Yeah, I mean,
properties.
obviously, we need permission of the owner,
Mhm.
right? But if you have a good relationship, that might be a conversation.
Yeah, I'll reach out to her tomorrow.
Okay, and that concludes my.
That concludes your report. All right, thank you. I'm
Thanks, Al.
going to
Yeah.
guess that there's no other business. Mr. Martin, are you comfortable that we've thrown a lot at you? on that?
I am comfortable,
Okay.
so motion to adjourn by whom?
By you, seconded by
I'll
Mr.
add
Casolo,
that.
and it was unanimous.
Next time,
Wasn't it,
so
Mr. Becker?
you'll have that color.
Okay.
Thank you, we are adjourned.
I'm trying to match them up,
Thank you, Ted.